Alright, so we talked about this last time, now we have to actually discuss it. What would your D&D class and race be? Like, if you yourself were in, like, a D&D world. Or Pathfinder, because you've done Pathfinder.
I mean, I think I would definitely either be... I mean, I want to say I'd be a swashbuckler. But...
Yeah, but...
I don't think that, my merits in real life would transfer over as a pirate. But I think I would definitely be at least a rogue. But I'm also pretty charismatic, so maybe swashbuckler.
I can imagine you, like, trying to do... Because you've talked about, like, parrying and, like... just the stereotype of a swashbuckler. I can picture you trying to do that. But just ending up being a lot more like a rogue. Just like more sneaky and more... You are literally picking a lock right now.
I mean, I don't think I'm super roguish. I don't think I'm super roguish if I can...
This is not actually a bit. Zoe is holding like a practice lock and using lockpicks right now.
Shh! Don't out me!
Just as you do. So, rogue, maybe swashbuckler.
I mean, yes.
Like, I guess if you were in a D&D world, like, hypothetically, you would have some kind of training and background to where you would be more skilled. But let's just say, ourselves now, if we magically got sent into some kind of fantasy world, just like as we are. I think we've talked about this, we're pretty sure I'd be a bard. At least I am.
Yeah. I mean, I guess...
Because I am not a fighter. I don't have a lot of HP.
Yeah, you're just dancing in the background.
Yeah, I'm just...
Giving everyone, like...
I'm like 20 feet away, just like, hey guys, I'm gonna play you a song, inspiration, just... No, but I'd be like, that's the thing, I don't know how to play any instruments at the moment. I own a mandolin. I don't know how to play it yet. I play piano. I can somewhat sing. I guess you don't have to sing well. You just have to be at least vaguely encouraging, I guess. But no, I like the idea of bard as someone who, like, can use magic or can cause, like, inspiration, can inspire people by, like, through any form of art. Like, through even writing. I like the idea of... Because people in writing professions in D&D, like, would be bards. Like, especially people who use it as...
So I think we're both bards, then.
I mean, yeah.
But am I, like, what kind
of... You just went to law, though, so I don't...
I'm just an asshole nobleman.
You're just an NPC now. You're a rogue with a noble background. You used to be in law.
Am I really... Do I even have a noble background? Because, like...
What would mine even be? Because the backgrounds are so weird. I always make my character's background haunted one because I'm extra as fuck. So, but I don't have, like, a specific, like, my loved one was killed in front of me, or, like, anything like that. I don't know, probably something boring. Probably just, like, isn't Urchin one, where you're literally just, you live on the street?
You could literally be a D&D character, because your name is a different name than the one you were originally given.
I mean, that's kind of.
So you're basically your D&D character.
I had a different name for my first 2 weeks of life. No one can know my secret name. For anyone who doesn't know, so probably anyone who listened to this, I was adopted, and originally my name was Caitlin, and I hate that so much. So for 2 weeks of my life, that would have been my actual name. So in D&D, no, if I was a bard, I'd be that dramatic. Like, people would be like, my actual name is this, I'm on the run. I'd be like, well, I was called Caitlin for 2 weeks, so right there with ya.
I'm also a dramatic bitch.
But no, oh, and also, if you could be a different fantasy race, if you didn't want to play just a human, or be just human. Because I'm very much caught between tiefling and furbolg. Because I feel like I'm kind of that, like...
I really have no idea what either of those are.
You don't know what a tiefling is?
Not really.
Oh, no.
But,
I love tieflings. They're my favorite.
I like to think, I would love to be a lizard man.
Yes, I love lizard folk.
I would love to be... Oh, what are they called in Skyrim? I mean, they're the Khajiit, but those are
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Those are the cat people. I could also...
I don't know Skyrim.
I also like cat people, so I could be a cat person.
Yeah,
oh no, did I just...
Are you furry?
I'm not a furry. No, I take all of that back. I'm not a furry.
You're scaly and a furry.
No, I don't want to be either.
No, I have watched campaigns where people played like tabaxis or lizard folk, and it's really cool.
What is a tabaxi?
Cat person.
Okay.
In D&D they're called they're called tabaxi.
Okay. I
mean, they're pretty cool. I've never even come up with a character that's a tabaxi, but I really want to. I just don't think I can draw them. I can't draw cats.
I feel like it'd be cool to be an elf. But also, I feel like it's really overdone at this point. Maybe a hobbit. Maybe a hobbit. They get to eat a lot and just chill out. Like
a halfling. You'd be a halfling.
A half hobbit, half human?
Well, no, a halfling in D&D is like a hobbit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they actually say that in the hobbit thing. They call them halflings.
In D&D is just halfling, but they're pretty much hobbits. Yeah, they're pretty chill. You get, like, Fury of the Small and stuff, I think.
Fury of... That is me!
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that until this exact moment, but that is very much you.
That's me.
No, I think once... It's either... I don't think it's once per... I think it's once per fight. because I've never made a halfling character. If you're a race that is a certain size, I think it's just small as the size, like halfling and goblin, whatever, you get to add extra damage for Fury of the Small once per battle, I think. And it's amazing. And I love that so much. Because I love watching campaigns where it's just like, you know what, and also, Fury of the Small! And it's like, yeah, okay.
I'm so tiny and angry. It's
yeah,
perfect.
exactly. It's literally just, you are, like, bottled up hatred.
So I'm a swashbuckler halfling.
That'd be so funny.
I'm just, like, someone's trying to hit me, and I'm just like, parry that shit, bitch. And I'm literally half there, so I'm just like, fucking fight me, bro!
Yeah, just, like, from the ground, looking past the sword, just like, no.
You wanna go, bro? And then I just stab them in the shin.
Yeah. I love that. But no, I had to explain to you recently what a furbolg was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who listen to this who haven't watched, probably Critical Role is the only one I can think of that has a furbolg character. That's pretty prevalent. Won't know what that is. And they're kind of like, I explained them as kind of like cow people, and you just didn't react well to that, but they're giant kin.
It works well because Martin loves them, and we all love Martin.
That's true. Watch the Magnus Archives, not sponsored.
Would Martin be a furbolg?
Martin would be a furbolg. He's just a big, like, happy, like, dopey
What would John
dude.
be?
Oh, God. I want to say either, like, a really angry elf or just, like, a tiefling. Just, like, an angry tiefling.
I could see him as being, like...
or just human. He's the one human.
Or a vampire.
Everyone else is something else, and he's just a human, and just angry all the
No,
time.
Elias is the vampire.
That's true.
John is an elf, but he's a young elf, but he's already done with everyone's shit.
John be a drow. John be a drow.
What's a drow?
You know what? They're dark elves that, like, live in darkness.
Yes. No, that's Martin. He's alone all the time.
No!
My precious son.
Listen to the Magnus Archives. Do it.
But he's the most competent of them all.
That's true. He is very competent, and he doesn't seem like it.
Alright, so this is something that you listeners have to settle in the comments.
Oh, not again. I did this on Twitter.
In the comments, you have to settle this.
If you have listened all the way up until the final, like, the newest episode of the Magnus Archives, because right now they're on break between seasons.
As of February 27th, 2020.
Yeah. Who do you like better, just as a character? Peter Lucas or Elias?
Elias Bouchard, my
because
son.
we disagree on this, because I do not like Elias, but I like Peter Lucas's style.
I mean,
He seems real chill. He's that one villain who, like, was completely calm through the whole, like, all the shit that happened, just nothing. I love him.
I mean, I love to hate Elias, but I also just kind of love Elias as a character. Like, I love him.
I love to hate him,
shit.
but I can't get past that to actually loving him.
He's such a little shit.
And that's not an insult to the writing. He is so well written as a villain that I just hate him with a passion.
He's a little shit, and I love him.
I thought we should get into, because again, we've talked about this a little bit, but our listeners have not heard us talk about this before. So, Pathfinder versus D&D. Mostly because I recently started listening to, I'm a big Critical Role fan, if you had not figured that out I've probably mentioned it in the last one a little bit, this one. I hadn't listened to the first campaign, and I started to, and I didn't realize that they actually transferred over from Pathfinder, and that's why Percy as a gunslinger, like, wrecked the game, because there wasn't a gunslinger in D&D until Matt Mercer, like, invented the class.
Because Pathfinder is superior. Well, I say
they both have merits.
I say Pathfinder is superior, but only, like, Pathfinder, like, 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago.
What's the newest version?
I don't know what it's called, but all I know is that
5e,
a lot of people are mad about it. Let me see what it's called.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with Pathfinder, so I don't know a lot about this.
I haven't played Pathfinder in like a year because I've been really busy with school.
I've never technically played D&D. I've just watched an ungodly amount of campaigns, an ungodly number of hours of campaigns, and I just love the idea of them so much. And I interact with a lot of people, and I've come up with a lot of characters, like potential characters for them. I've just never had the chance to play it. But no, D&D right now is on 5e. And that's the only one I've ever had experience with in D&D. Like, I've watched campaigns of completely different RPGs and stuff. But 5e I like a lot. I don't really have any issues with it. I know some people do, and that's totally valid. I don't, from what I know of it. Maybe if I played it more, I would. And again, I'm a big fan of bards, and I'm a big fan of tieflings. I'm that just... There's like that's a big thing on Twitter, where there are people who, like, just love tieflings. And I'm like, you know what?
What is that?
I will wholeheartedly...
I love it.
It looks like a bugbear?
What is a bugbear?
You know what a bugbear... Okay, so...
What is a bugbear?
You're gonna have to Google it, because I can't explain this well enough. There's a bugbear character In the Adventure Zone, which I love, there is a bugbear character. It's always just having
They're
a
like
moment.
monsters, and they look like they're badasses, but also they're adorable.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're just big, furry creatures. Well, yeah.
This guy's name is Belgarath. He's adorable.
Wonderful. Yeah, I don't know if bugbears started out in D&D or if they're from, other games. I have no idea. First one I ever heard of was in the Adventure Zone, in the Balance arc. And he's great.
Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what the new Pathfinder... It's just 2nd edition. Okay, so...
Oh, you're just on set. Okay.
So...
Ours is 5th edition.
So...
I don't...
Apparently, I haven't played any of the new edition of 2nd edition of Pathfinder, so I don't know, but apparently a lot of people don't like it. But, I don't know. I can't say anything about it.
People like 5e. Some people don't.
Well, Pathfinder is based off of... Some people do not. I believe that Pathfinder is based on 5e. I think. I might be wrong.
5e is...
It's based on a certain edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
When did the first edition of Pathfinder come out? Because 5e is relatively new, I think. I'm not connected to the internet, so I'm going to let you search that if you feel like it. Whenever 5e started. Because I remember, I think Dice Camera Action
it's built on 3.5e.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's based on 3.5e.
Okay, that would have been a minute ago.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Can you look up when 5th edition started? Because it was just I say a few years ago, it was probably many years ago. Because I may be completely wrong on this, but the first campaign I ever watched was Dice Camera Action, which is no longer running now, and, sadly, but I think they were, one of the first big campaigns that did 5e, because the DM, Chris Perkins, is one of the dudes who, writes the books, and is really cool. Shout out to Chris Perkins.
5th edition, 2014.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. That would have been about when they started. Because they had the longest running Twitch D&D stream.
So, OG
up
Pathfinder.
Until, I believe, when they stopped. I was not into D&D until a few years ago. I just know of people who are, have been hardcore D&D fans since, the first edition. I'm how? And apparently it was really fucked up. There was just some weird shit and mechanics that were going on that didn't make any sense.
Well, Dungeons & Dragons was part of the Satanic Scare in, the 70s.
Oh, yeah, no, because people thought that it was,
it's gonna turn you into devil worshippers.
Yeah, because there were, because they had a version of... I think they had a version of tieflings back then. And they had, devils and stuff. And they had magic. And it was just
Did I tell you about the book that I got the Soch teacher? Did I tell you about the book that I got the Soch teacher?
About the Satanic Panic? No.
Yeah. I got him a book on the Satanic Panic.
Oh, nice. I would like to read about that.
Also, he was shocked that we described him as a good teacher in our previous one, so shout out to...
He was a good teacher.
The Soch teacher.
I enjoyed those classes.
You are bomb. We appreciated your classes.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about social problems and drugs.
My main reason for thinking Pathfinder is better than Dungeons & Dragons, at least the OG Pathfinder, is that
this is the OP thing.
It has a very specific class called Swashbuckler, which was I played a swashbuckler character. Mm-hmm. And if you've played any of Pathfinder, you know that the swashbuckler character is broken to all hell. And my character was broken to all hell. Her name was Theodosia. Yes, she was named after Hamilton character, because when I made the character, I liked the name.
It's still a nice name.
It is.
I need to listen to Hamilton all the way through again.
But she was a swashbuckler.
Listen to Hamilton, not sponsored.
She was a swashbuckler.
Can you imagine if we were sponsored by a musical?
That would be amazing.
I want to meet Lynn.
Hey,
Lynn,
nice. you wanna throw some money at us? No, I'm kidding.
No, don't throw money at us. Just. But no, okay. So your first Pathfinder character, because we've talked about. Zoe has described some of their one of the traits and some of the moves and stuff. I'm just this is so
the
OP.
Best thing
this
about
is so broken.
The best thing about swashbucklers is we have this thing called panache, and
which I recently learned might be a thing in D&D that I didn't know about.
So. And I don't know. I haven't played. I don't know if there's a proper swashbuckler class. At least not as broken as in Pathfinder.
It's not broken. I did look one up when we first started talking about it. And I don't know if it's official or if it's been made by someone, but there is one.
So what you do is when someone, if on your turn you have a rapier out, which is a type of sword, obviously.
No, yeah. That's what, I think that's what Maria has right now.
And you have a buckler. I think you have to have a buckler and a rapier, both. I
thought the buckler was the hand part of the...
No, the buckler is like a sword. It's not a sword. It's like a shield that goes on your arm.
Oh,
it's
okay.
A little tiny shield.
I thought the buckler on a sword was the part, on the handle that has the big curved shield part that's attached to it.
No. I don't think so.
I'll have to look it up. I don't know enough about swords. I wish I did.
So,
I need a sword.
When it's someone else's turn and they try to attack you, you can instead say, I'm gonna parry that shit. Mm-hmm. And so you can roll, and if your roll is higher, and not just the roll, but also you add in any things to
That's
it,
very
and
strange.
I'll pull out a very small thing here. So if you guys want to take, for instance,
I can pull up D&D Beyond and come up with my character stuff.
My
D&D Beyond, also not sponsored, but that would be cool.
So
Check it out.
my attack bonus to parry and riposte was plus 17. So if someone tried to hit me, I could be like, I'm a parry. So I would roll, and then I would add 17, and if I beat their roll, I would get to hit them. I wouldn't get to hit them. I would successfully parry. And then I could also, on that same thing, in that same little time frame, riposte, which means to hit back. All I have to do is roll. And then I would also have plus 17 to my attack.
It's like some really fucked up monk shit.
And then I'd be like, hey, and I would poke them, and then I would get...
Not even with a sword, just boop, right
and
on
I
the
would
nose.
get 1d6 plus 15 of damage to them.
That's terrifying. And I've compared this to, like, rogues with, like...
I mean, this was a level...
What's it called?
This was level 7 characters. This wasn't, like...
That's still...
It's still pretty bad.
Uncanny dodge. I was thinking of rogues uncanny dodge, and also monks being able to, like, stop an attack and punch you back.
And with my rapier, I had a,
That's a horrible laugh. You gotta tell them about the hat next.
I will. So on my rapier, I had a critical hit range of 15 to 20.
No, I've only ever heard of 19 and 20. Maybe 18
which
to
is
20.
highly broken, if you are not aware.
D&D Beyond.
But I also took a level in Gunslinger, and so I had a pistol, and its name was Aaron Burr. And I also had a hat, which was in Pathfinder, it was called Besmera's Tricorn.
Didn't they recently nerf it, though?
I don't know.
Because you looked it up, and it was different.
I don't know. So once per day... No, it's the same thing. You just have to have Besmera as your, like, deity.
Oh, okay. I thought someone was up with it.
Once per day, I can speak a command word to my hat, and the hat will then turn into a boat. Up to 20 feet long. Up to 20 feet long or 10 feet long.
So when we were talking about maybe
20 feet
doing
long.
a 5e campaign, like, later this year, Zoe was like, hey, can I keep my hat? And initially I was like, yeah, okay. And then they were like, so if I, like, hypothetically were to chuck this hat at some enemies and then say the command word, would it just, like, take them out? And I was like, no!
I feel like the most important part is that the command word is, Aaron Burr's a punk bitch.
That's true. That is very... That's
So,
the only reason. That's
you
the
would
redeeming...
throw the hat.
Yeah, see, +1 rapier.
You throw
Sorry,
the...
I'm looking at one of my characters I came up with character sheet right now on D&D Beyond, which is very nice.
You throw the hat, yell, Aaron Burr's a punk bitch, and then the hat turns into a boat midair and just smacks everyone to the ground. That's what I want to do.
Well, here's another thing you can
Let me
discuss in
do
the
that.
comments if you're interested in talking about that. My thought was that because it's a boat, because the momentum is going to get changed, when it's going to become something much, much, much
Don't
heavier.
bring physics into this.
That when it will hit, like, the first couple people, but it would only kind of, like, push them back. Unless it was above them, which, like, I don't think you could throw a hat that far and that high, depending on where you are, without it, like, hitting you.
Also, I owned a ship.
Yeah, you said that.
'Cause I'm a badass. She was cool.
You, not the character.
Me.
You own a ship.
I own a ship. I
have
wish.
a -1 strength and constitution. Oh, no.
I don't think I have any negatives. I do not have
Well, yeah,
any
because
negatives.
Pathfinder's broken. See, level 7. Also level 7.
It's not broken!
I have Maria set as level 7. Maria's my tiefling bard character that I want to play in a campaign.
But you rolled, right? You didn't just, like...
No, I did point by.
Okay, so these are points. I don't know how...
And I've even gone through several levels where you get to add points into stats.
Yeah, same.
Like, this is normal for level 7. Probably minus the 2 -1s.
Well,
One of those
let's
would
see.
be even.
I have 10, 17, 12,
What's your AC?
12, 10, 16. My AC is 20.
That's monk shit. That's...
I had a fucked up... I have mithril chain armor,
Oh, that makes
which
sense.
gives me +5. And I have a buckler, which is another +2.
Mine's 16. My Maria's AC is 16.
Listen, my character was broken. I made her... I
My
had people
favorite
help
types
me
of
break
characters.
her. I had...
Why?
Because I want...
No.
Because I was really bad at the game, and I was just like, I'm gonna try my best.
Alright.
And I wanted to have fun, and I had fun. But I also got the shit kicked out of me on numerous occasions as this character.
Fun. Okay.
Because I would make bad decisions.
Okay. So, on kind of that note,
my
how
stupidity.
did you initially get into Pathfinder? Like, did you just start a game, or did you know about it beforehand and plan out characters?
So I was originally playing some D&D with some people on Skype for a while.
Okay.
And then I was at a convention in Peoria, Anime Zap one year.
Okay.
And there was a guy there, and I had brought my D&D set, and I was like, I want to play D&D. Like, can we set up a game? And he was like, okay, sure. But I would actually rather do Pathfinder. And I'm like, what the hell is Pathfinder? And he was like, oh, it's like this. And then he gave me a flash drive with, like, a bunch of stuff that, like, a bunch of the information on it.
That's nice.
So it was like, I was like 3 gigs of just, like,
so
a bunch
what
of
version of
information.
D&D did you initially play?
I think it was 5e.
Okay. So this wasn't horribly long
Yeah,
ago.
it's the starter set that I have down there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you had that. I also have that
It might
now.
have been, no, it might have been the one, it might have been 4e.
4? I don't know anything about 4.
Because it was back when I was in middle school.
I know nothing about previous editions except there are just some weird rules from like first and
How
second.
old was I when I was in middle school? What year was it when we were in middle school?
Middle school?
Like 7th grade.
Let me think, because I was like, okay, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 20, 12, 13?
Okay, so it would have been 4e.
Is that the way it goes? Yeah, 2012, 13-ish.
Okay, so it would have been before 5e.
Oh, wait, I'm 21. I don't know. It's somewhere around there.
I don't know. I played with a bunch of people.
But yeah,
online,
but
I was really bad at it. And I was using a pre-made character. Like
I don't like games where you feel like you're bad at it. Like, it's so numbers heavy that you feel like you're bad at a game.
Well, it was also just because I was like young and I just wanted to have fun or wanted to do stupid shit and didn't understand the concepts of it. I had a fake D&D game that I tried to run when I was a kid because I didn't understand what D&D was. I thought it was just like world building, and so I would get a bunch of my friends together.
I've watched games that are completely role playing.
No, but we didn't have
combat.
We didn't have any of the dice or anything, and I had like combat and shit. So I'm just sitting there and I'm just making up this world as we go, and I'm like, and then the plane crashes, and then there's zombies, and you have to fight the zombies. So what are you gonna do? How are you gonna fight the zombies?
I mean, that's collaborative.
Pulling up to you, and I was just throwing shit together, and we didn't have any dice, so we were flipping coins.
Nice. People called that a D2.
It was
that
really
is the thing that sometimes people are like,
I know.
you know what? We're just gonna.
That was it. Oh,
but no, that is just collaborative storytelling.
That
is
was when
a
I was
thing
required.
people do.
That was when I had to go to church camp.
Oh, fun.
When I went to church camp, I
Fun.
got a group together and we played that.
It makes a lot of sense why I'm into D&D now, because I spent my entire early life just making up stories and shit with my friends. Like, playing out elaborate-ass plots, but not having any format
I
to
never
them.
played Zelda as a kid, but me and my friends
wish
in
I
grade
had.
school,
Don't
me and my
get me
friends in
talking
grade
about
school would
Zelda.
play Zelda, even though, because they had played Zelda,
Yeah.
and so we would, like, play Zelda at recess.
Oh,
and
I love
we would be
that.
like, we're gonna fight people!
We did the Knights and Dragon thing,
We
where
might-
I was
we
the
might
knight and my friend Mackenzie was the dragon, and our other friends were, like, either people we were saving, people who joined us, like, random people from the castle. Like, it was just...
We
it
would
was
build
fun.
these, like, huge, elaborate... So when I first went to school, it was at, a little tiny school. There were only 7 people in my class. I realized you had less in your class. But
Every time anyone's like, I went to a TED,
we
I'm like,
all
I
kind
had
of knew
2
each other.
people in my high school graduating class.
we all knew each other, and so we would,
It's not
like...
a competition. I just find it funny.
We would play these big games of just us, like, these really
Just
elaborate
making up shit.
storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would just... And it would go
That's
on
what I
for
did
weeks
for my whole...
sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I did for my whole childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend, I got really into the Inheritance series by, I'm gonna butcher the last name, but Christopher Paolini. And you said you hate those books, right?
I like the first book. I don't like the other
I read
ones.
all of them as they came out, I think. Or no, I read the first 3, and then when the last one came out, I, like, had my mom order it, because I was just young enough to not have a, like, debit card yet, or anything, and read it right after it came out, and loved it, but, like, wanted more from the ending. And I just love that series so much, and I had a friend who also read it. We used to pass messages in the ancient language in class and stuff. But no, I got really into the Inheritance series, and my friend and I would come up with, like, I'd always go over to her house after school for, like, just, many days a week, and we would have elaborate storylines with, like, us and our imaginary, like, pet dragons and stuff, and, like, saving people and looking for dragon eggs and, like, explore. It was so fun. That was a good time.
I miss being a kid.
But yeah, no, I just, I brought that up because, like, I've been making up stories since I was able to even, like, conceptualize a story. So as soon as D&D became a thing and I realized what it was, I was just immediately hooked. I was like, this is the coolest way to make a story. Like, just get a bunch of people together. And it's really cool when it's, like, family or friends, which is why I like the Adventure Zone so much, because, like, it's written because, like, Griffin knows his brothers and his dad. Like, it's written in a way where it's like, I know how you're going to respond to these situations, and I'm going to, like, tailor this a bit to... It's really cool. When you look back after listening to, like, the balance arc, it's like, oh, yeah, he knew they were going to do that, but...
I mean, like,
so
you look at, like, any, like, studies on, like, kids and stuff, and they, like, study kids play.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it's such an integral part of your, like,
Mhm.
growing up is using your imagination and building stories and narratives.
And it's just really cool that that has actually become popular recently as a continuation into adulthood.
Yeah.
That it's like, hey, like, you're going to sit down, you're going to create characters, create entire storylines, go through all these emotions and all of this, like, all of, like, backstory stuff and everything, like, fight monsters together. It's just so cool. It's just the next, like, evolution of that childhood storytelling. And I find that really, really cool, just as an adult.
I mean, people tend to like the more tailored to them storylines. Like, I mean, any kind of story, any kind of game that has, like, multiple endings or multiple adventures, like...
Yeah, but D&D is so
people tend to like it more. But,
because
like, that's a completely...
Yeah.
It's completely
true.
free reign.
And
but, like,
in D&D, it's like, you literally bring together a bunch of completely different people, and you have no clue what they're gonna do from moment to moment. So, like, even the DM having perfectly planned out an entire storyline, it can be just subverted in one scene because some character was just like, I'm gonna do this spell. And it's like, what? Have you ever watched a campaign, or, like, listened to it or anything? Or just, like...
Okay, so...
Because I haven't ever participated, I've just watched a lot. You've participated.
See, for me...
But don't follow a lot.
Like... This is gonna sound like a really cliche comparison, but it's like when I watch sports. Like,
okay.
When I watch sports, I don't like watching sports. I would much rather be playing the sport. Like, I would much rather be out there playing soccer than watch someone play soccer.
Okay. For me,
So,
it's like...
It's the same where I don't want to watch other people play. I want to play.
For me, though, it's more like watching a TV series where there are no cliches because all the characters actually have agency. Like, it's like watching an entire plot. I get, like, campaigns that are really, like, conflict heavy. It can seem very much like I'd rather be in this than just, like, watching this happen. But I really like I'm really, like, heavy on role-playing over fight scenes and stuff. Which, like, some people like the opposite, and that's cool. But, like, I love the idea of coming up with a character and having to, like, think through scenes and interact with other characters and come up with solutions and stuff. Because it's more like reading a book.
See,
but you're seeing the emotions on people's faces. You're watching the characters choose stuff.
I mean, I get that, but I'd rather be the one doing it as opposed to watching someone else do it. Because it's like, I want to come up with these things and see where my paths go.
Again, I'm still catching up on Critical Role Campaign 2. There are some scenes where it gets so fucking stressful. I'm like, I could not have done this. I would not have been level-headed through this. I would have done random shit and something would have gone wrong. But, like, they've all already done the first campaign. And also, that one is so fun to watch because they're all voice actors and they're all actors. So when it comes down to, like, the emotional scenes and stuff, like, you can see it. Like, they will, like, physicalize? How do you say that? Like, they will do the actual, like, expressions and actual, like, what's going on with their character, and it's just so cool. And, of course, I'm just gonna rant about Critical Role. I find it very cool. Like, they've had some flaws and some things go on over the years, but, like, overall, a very good group of people. Very awesome people. But the DM doing, like, the sound effects for monsters and stuff, and just, like, doing different voices for NPC. It's just fun. Like, I laugh a lot. And I like that. But yeah, you never really told me about, like, the storyline. Or, like, what was your favorite part of playing Pathfinder campaigns? Because I've never played.
So, when I would play, I played Pathfinder Society.
Okay.
And so it would be a different campaign every week, pretty much, unless they had one that was overlapping.
Wait, just, like, completely different storyline and everything?
Totally different campaigns. So what Pathfinder Society, the story behind it is that you are part of the Pathfinder Society and there are different guilds within it.
Okay.
And mine was part of the Dark Archive.
Right.
But you have, like, certain goals as that person in different campaigns, and they build these stories that the DM runs, and when you like, you get certain items, or and that's how you build up your characters. It's very organized online as well. Like, you can do all that stuff and sign up ahead of time. And you get a general overview, but a lot of times there's an actual order that it all goes through, like on a big storyline thing, but also, like...
Well, you kind of have to if you're, like, upgrading your character constantly.
But also, like, they can all be played out of order, but it's, like...
It's a little weird.
It's kind of weird, but it's really fun, because each one is kind of standalone, like, you don't have to... My main problem with playing, like, Pathfinder and stuff and playing D&D is...
Yeah.
All of the lore stuff and being in groups of people who aren't willing to explain things when I don't have time to sit down and read.
Yeah, because you said you were with kind of not a great group because they didn't tell you how to play or, like, actually
I had a good
things
group.
to you.
It wasn't that I had a bad group. It was just that I had difficulty in some of, like, when I first started, I didn't, like, obviously when I first
Yeah.
started, like,
You
playing these
didn't
big
know
campaigns.
how to actually, like, do everything.
Yeah, and so...
Yeah.
Like,
And it
I
just
didn't
didn't get
I didn't
explained.
understand, one of the main things where I got deities confused, because
Oh, yeah.
it's a ton of information that is being thrown at me
Mhm.
all at once, and, I mean, I was a college student when I started playing regularly.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's still something the DM should, like, explain. Like,
Yeah.
take some time to be like, hey, this is, like, what
And
you
most
need to
of
do.
the
Or, like, hand out some
Yeah.
information.
Oh, yeah, I had one DM, he was... I mean, there were multiple really good DMs that I played with through this. But I had one DM who would do printouts of everything, and he would, like,
That would
hand
be
them
nice.
out to people, and it made things really easy, and he
Yeah.
had, like, if you had, like, local history checks, because you would have, like, knowledge, like, local history, you could roll for it.
Yeah.
And he had, like,
No, you can do that, D&D.
plus 15, plus 5, whatever the thing was, he had, like, certain little handouts for each one, so then we all could decide if we wanted to share that information instead of...
That's nice.
Which
I've never
also
seen that.
was really nice to reference back into when I would be playing, because it's like, okay,
And what do I remember about this?
yes.
Yeah. From what I've watched, most of the people in the campaigns that I watch just take, like, really good notes on stuff. But if they ever do need to be like, hey, I don't remember what this was, or, oh, so, like, what does your character remember about this? What does my character remember about this? The DM will, like, re-explain it and be really... Like, I've seen some really good DMs, and you just have to have... I don't know, you have to have a good, like, cooperative group of people that work well together, or it's gonna just be... It can be not a great experience.
I mean, that wasn't why I quit playing. I quit playing because I got too busy, and...
Yeah. No, I didn't
Yeah.
but just, like...
I got really busy. Yeah.
I've just never ended up joining campaign or anything. I'm hoping to sometime this year. There's one kind of in the works that I might be a part of that we might play soon. We'll see how that goes. But no, from what I've watched, I do like that. From what I've seen in the campaigns that I've watched, most of the time the handing out slips and stuff is for, like, magic items and, like, things that they find, so that you can have that to refer to later. And that seems really nice, and that's something I would do if I ever did a campaign.
Well,
But, like, history stuff, it's like the players take really good notes and can ask the DM. And the DM will be like, okay, so you know this. Or you remember that you met this NPC, or that this happened.
Well, that was something that was really nice about playing Pathfinder Society, is at the end of every game, like, there were certain items that you got to keep.
Yeah.
And then there was a boon sheet that was given at the end, and it had the items that you would have gotten on
Nice.
there, which was really nice, because then you could reference back to that and have that information there, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. I had something a little off topic, but that I really love in the D&D community, at least as I know it, because I'm not, I almost said I'm big on Twitter. I'm not popular on Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. And I follow a lot of really cool people who are in different D&D campaigns or just in the community. And I love the fact that in like the past 10, 20 years, D&D has become a really big, like, it's been really focused on, like, inclusion and diversity. And there are a lot of campaigns now that are, like, all of the cast members in the DM are people of color, or, like, it's completely LGBT, or just different groups that weren't really well represented in the past, when it was seen as mostly a thing for, like older white men, or, like, white dudes to play. And I mean, I know there were like queer people or women playing back then, but it wasn't as, like,
It wasn't what people thought of.
Yeah, it wasn't what people thought of, and also a lot of them were, like, dissuaded from playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard for them to find a game to actually play in.
I mean, that's what kept me from playing for a really long time as well.
Yeah.
Like, even here on campus when we first started, I was very worried about having that situation here, or having situations that have happened in the past happen again.
Yeah, because you never know. There's a good chance, especially on this type of campus, that you're going to end up in a group with a lot of white dudes who are not respectful of you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always that. It's difficult. Because, I mean, there is a 5e club on campus, and I just don't want to go to it because of that possibility.
Well,
Like,
I mean, we
there's
talked to the guys, and they seemed
Yeah, but
mostly
that's
fine.
only 2.
Yeah.
And also we didn't talk to them that much.
And I have work on the nights that they have it, so... No, I have class on the nights that they have it.
It's Thursdays, isn't it?
We have to record this on nights that they have
Well, now
it.
we do.
Yeah,
we
now we
have
have
an
to record
excuse.
this.
Of course we do.
Um,
But no, I love that that's a thing that's being brought more into the light, is like, hey, like, these people have always been playing this game, and we're gonna kind of, like, take it back over and actually make make it a safer place for everyone and not, like, exclude people. And that's why...
We should really start going to those.
Probably. But no, that's why I'm a big fan of, I only follow, like, 3... That's a lot. I follow 3 D&D campaigns pretty regularly right now. And as I'm saying that, I'm like, that's actually more than most people.
I follow none, but that's also because
You also hear me talk about them. I just talk at you about
so
them.
much.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
As soon as I got back...
I'll just be sitting here doing homework and Faith's up there with headphones in. Oh my god, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
Faith, I love you, but I have to do homework.
This is why I can never go to a Critical Role live show, because I would just be panicking the whole time. Because I'm so used to, like, I've seen spoilers. I know, like, who lives and what happens. But I'm still sitting there, like, stressed as hell. Just like, what are you doing? No, why? No. And so it's just like, I'm doing homework. I'm trying to do homework. But no.
I have to write papers.
I like Critical Role a lot. Could definitely be more diverse, but they are, like, relatively okay about, like, NPCs and characters and stuff being, like, queer people of color and stuff, which is nice, but, like, the cast themselves could be more diverse, and that's been something that's brought up recently. The Adventure Zone is a bunch of white guys, but it is such a good community for LGBT people. Like, it's this weirdly strong, accepting community, because it's that idea of, like, a family who actually likes each other, and are very nice about and very supportive of all of that, and, a lot of their main characters have been not straight, or, like, and very much so.
Bring me the gays.
Yeah, very openly gay characters. There's a bi character who was fucking awesome in the last one.
Come on, lesbians, let's go.
I need to catch up on the new campaign. And I just love that the McElroys have been so supportive of that, and, like, realized that a big part of their fan base was in the LGBT community, and we're like, okay, sure, we're gonna completely embrace this. Like, you guys are awesome, thank you. Another one I wanted to mention, that I've told you about a little bit, because this is the one Dragon is from.
Okay, so all
the best NPC
what is,
ever.
Which one is this? Which one is this?
Rise of the Demigods.
Okay, so
It's
I have
by,
no idea what...
at Vardian, I said that wrong.
I don't know.
Vardian.
I just love...
On Twitter. I'm so sorry, Rom.
Okay, so all I know about...
I will link it in the
All I know
comments,
about
or in the
Rise of
description.
the Demigods is that there is a character named Dragon who is
Dragon, who is a human wizard.
Who is a giant red dragon.
What are you talking about? He's a human wizard.
But he is convinced because of magical lobotomies.
No, well...
Magical lobotomy, that's
Sure,
what I don't know anything about this. All I know is that there was some magic
Zoe's
stuff that fucked him up.
Yeah, you're wrong.
And so magical lobotomy happened, and now he is a human wizard.
He thinks
he is convinced he is a human wizard, and he wears a cloak over his head.
Yeah, he wears a cloak over his head. He has little wooden arms that he controls by, like, biting onto them and, like, shaking people's hands and stuff. And he thinks he's a human.
And he has the ability...
Huge fucking red dragon.
And he has the ability to turn into a human.
Well, he doesn't know. I don't think he knows that. He was when the whole magic thing happened, and that's why he thinks he's a human.
I love it. It's so he's so dumb, and I love it so much.
This is the best NPC. Shout out to Aram for making this amazing character that I love so much. I did some art of Dragon recently, actually.
I love him.
Yeah,
I know nothing about him.
He thinks he's a human wizard that can cast fireball and fly on himself.
He is my precious baby son, and I love him to death. I know nothing about him.
He's great.
Or this campaign. But
It's
I
great.
want
One good thing is for Dragon.
I want to hug him.
Same, though.
For making my life
all of us love Dragon,
great for
except
knowing
Nikki.
Dragon. I love that his name is Dragon.
Yeah, he's great.
He's literally just Dragon.
Yeah.
I am a human wizard.
I need to go back and rewatch the episode that he was introduced, because the characters were just like, what the fuck?
I want someone I want someone to cast whatever it is that turns him into a human on him, and then
it's
have
just
him...
an inherent ability for, I think, red dragons. But you could polymorph him, I guess.
But, like, force him to polymorph into
to see if he
human,
thought he was a dragon.
And then when he's a human, he thinks he's a dragon. He's like,
that would be very funny.
And he's casting fireball and fly on himself.
Yeah.
Thinking he's like, oh no, I'm a dragon.
We got really off topic, but I had to talk about Dragon, the best NPC.
I love that.
But Rise of the Demigods is...
My eyeball hurts.
The most, like, it is an incredibly gay podcast / video series campaign, and it's great. I love it so much. It is so fun to watch. It's so funny. just go watch it. I'm going to 100% link to, like, the YouTube channel and to, their Twitter page and stuff, and it's great. It's so nice. It's such a, like, it's so nice to know what you're going to get in a campaign, and to not be kind of worried about, like offensive jokes or anything, which isn't a problem in any of the ones that I've watched, but, like, you always have that thought of, like, if it's not run by a queer cast, it's like, maybe. But no, it's really, it's awesome. I love it so much. And the cast and DM are so nice. And it's just a small enough community that they all kind of know all the listeners. And it's so nice, because they'll do, like, live streams, and we'll be in chat just talking with everyone. It's such a nice community. Join us. But yeah, I
join Faith.
You're gonna listen to it eventually. I will make you. You have to meet Dragon.
I just want to keep Dragon in my imagination.
No.
Yes.
Fine.
My Google Assistant just sent me an email. What will you do with 1 extra day? It sounds so ominous. I realize it's about leap year, but it's ominous.
I forgot about that.
What will I do with
about
1
Dragon.
extra day? I will
me talk to you about Dragon more.
edit this, because we are going to have to cut out large lapses in silence.
Don't tell them that.
Shh. Y'all don't need to know that
you heard nothing?
I don't know. I don't know
saw
what I'm going
nothing,
to
missed
do.
the podcast?
Maybe I'll teach myself finally how to use Blender, because I downloaded it, and I'm a little scared to...
Oh yeah, we're still open to any suggestions for editing software.
Yes, please give me some good video editing software ideas that are... So far, Blender is just confusing the fuck out of me, because it's like for 3D, like...
You probably look up YouTube tutorials.
Things. I know, but they're all for, like, 3D model things. Like, it's because it's got an animation software thing in it.
Yeah. That's all I know about it.
I know nothing about animation, and I don't want to do anything with animation. I just want to
We're
add
so
literally
off topic.
stupid graphics. No, we're pretty much at the end.
Yeah.
So
But no,
this is us.
I just wanted to talk a bit about... Sorry, I'm doing a summation. Don't look at me like that. I'm trying to make it make sense. It's a chaotic...
Continuity is for bitches.
This is chaotic. But, no, I just wanted to talk about how
what
I
are
love...
what are our alignments?
Oh, what are our alignments?
We have to talk about that real quick.
Okay. My quick thing was just going to say, I really love the part of the D&D community that I'm in Twitter, and that it's very inclusive and very, like, diverse, and it's really cool. That's what I got. That's my new class. But no, alignment. I've thought about this a lot. I'm not lawful good.
I'm chaotic lawful.
That's a meme, but I love it so much. Just the, like, what's the quote? Like, you have a strict moral code, but no one knows what the fuck it is.
No, it's not even that. It's just, like, it's not, like, chaotic good. And it's not lawful good.
I think I'm neutral good.
It's neutral, chaotic, lawful, which is, like, which is just me.
Zoe is just everything.
I'm just so lawful and chaotic are, like, complete opposites. They're supposed to be.
It depends on your motivations. Because I have seen some really nice charts that are like, what would you fall into based on your motivations?
So, like...
I think you are chaotic good.
I think I'm chaotic lawful because I don't do anything
That's not what that means. That's
I
not
don't do
That's not a
I
alignment.
know it's not. That's why I'm making up. And it's because I'm chaotic lawful that I can say that I'm chaotic lawful.
Again, I'm going with neutral good. Because I think I have a moral stance on things. And I keep to that. But I'm not strictly lawful because our government sucks right now.
I'm not
but
lawful
I'm not
in
chaotic at all.
I mean, I'm pretty lawful, but I'm also chaotic about my lawfulness.
That's why I'd go with neutral good. I'm like, I wouldn't back the government at this point, but I will follow laws up until the point they become against my moral code. I will not, like, lawful good means you will follow the law, you will follow the law in, like, past the point of it breaking your moral, like, you will follow the law no matter what. On that note, we're gonna end this by, in the comments, actually, if you want to. If you've played Pathfinder, if you've played D&D, if you have a cool character you want to tell us about, go ahead and do that. If you
don't have any of that stuff, just tell us what your class, race, and alignment would be. And explain why.
And if you
have to explain why. This is my teacher voice.
You don't have to.
You have to explain why.
You really don't.
Explain your answer.
This is my not teacher voice. Explain your answer in a paragraph that is 300 to 500 words.
I did student teaching. Explain your answer to me.
But no, go ahead and put, if you feel like it, just race, class, alignment. There are some really good charts for looking up alignment if you're curious about that. Just Google it and you'll come up with some cool ones that explain it better than we did.
It's a terrifying prospect that at any point in my life I thought I was going to be a teacher.
Yeah, same. And also, if you have played in any like any kind of RPG, if you had any like really funny moments in your campaign or like something really dramatic that happened, tell us about that. We'd love to hear it. I always love hearing about just random stuff that's happened in these games because it's so cool.
Wait. I have been your wonderful host, Zoe Donovan. I'm a badass motherfucker. And
hi, I'm Faith. I'm here too. And I'm sorry for this episode.
Faith's also a badass motherfucker, but Faith won't admit it.
I'm not, though. I'm a bard.
Bards can be badass.
I'm an honorary bard. I forgot to mention that. I won honorary bard in a class last semester.
You can be just gay.
That's
just
not how you say that.
Jaskier.
No, don't insult.
Jaskier.
Goodbye.
Jasker.
Goodbye.
Faith is Jasker.
Goodbye. So yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
All
we have
right.
to go edit this now.
Are we ready for some outro music?
No.